7 young black men walked into a house at 421 North Albany Street in Ithaca, New York, in 1905, exhausted from carrying a burden no college student should bear. They weren't just fighting textbooks at Cornell University. They were fighting for their right to simply exist on campus. The year before, every single African-American student had left Cornell, not because they failed, not because they couldn't compete, but because racial isolation crushed them one by one until they couldn't take it anymore. According to the Cornell University archives, these 7 men looked around at the predominantly white Ivy League campus and made a decision that would alter American history forever. On December 4th, 1906, they founded Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity, the first intercollegiate Greek letter organization established for black men. But this wasn't just about throwing parties and wearing letters. This was warfare disguised as brotherhood. Jewel Charles Henry Chapman, one of the founders, articulated their mission in words that still echo today. We must never lose sight of the fact that we must take part in the development not only of ourselves, but of all humanity. Think about that. In 1906, when black people couldn't vote in most places, when lynchings terrorized communities, when universities barely tolerated their presence, these men declared they would uplift all of humanity. The 7 Jewels, as they became known, weren't ordinary college kids. Henry Arthur Callis became a groundbreaking physician and Howard University professor. George Biddle Kelly became New York's first registered black civil engineer. Vertner Woodson Tandy became New York's first licensed black architect and designed the fraternity's iconic pin. Eugene Kinkle Jones became the first executive secretary of the National Urban League, leading it for 20 years. But here's where it gets absolutely wild. As documented by Stanford University's Martin Luther King Jr. Research Institute, Alpha Phi Alpha's membership roster reads like a who's who of American civil rights history. W.E.B. Du Bois, the founder of the NAACP. Thurgood Marshall, who argued Brown v. Board of Education and became the first black Supreme Court justice. And Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who joined the fraternity in 1952 while studying at Boston University. According to the Jim Crow Museum at Ferris State University, Alpha men didn't just participate in the civil rights movement. They bankrolled it, litigated it, and led it from the front lines. In the landmark 1935 case Murray versus Pearson, Alpha Phi Alpha paid all legal fees and provided all legal representation to challenge racial segregation at the University of Maryland Law School. Thurgood Marshall, an Alpha, won the case. It was his first major civil rights victory, but their greatest monument came decades after Dr. King's assassination. According to NPR's 2011 report on the project, in 1968, Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity brothers sat around a kitchen table in Washington, D.C., and decided Dr. King deserved a memorial on the National Mall. Not a plaque. Not a statue in some forgotten corner. A national memorial standing alongside Lincoln, Jefferson, and Roosevelt. Congressional records show that in 1996, Congress authorized Alpha Phi Alpha to establish the Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial. It took 15 years, $120 million in fundraising, including $3 million from fraternity members alone, and countless hours of bureaucratic battles. The memorial opened on August 22, 2011, becoming the first on the National Mall dedicated to an African American. The address? 1964 Independence Avenue, honoring the year the Civil Rights Act passed. From 7 college students fighting isolation in 1906 to over 290,000 members across 900 chapters worldwide today, Alpha Phi. Alpha transformed American history, not through revolution, but through relentless excellence, brotherhood, and service. They proved that when you bind together in purpose, even the impossible becomes inevitable. As founder Henry Arthur Callis declared in 1946, The chief significance of Alpha Phi Alpha lies in its purpose to stimulate, develop, and cement an intelligent, trained leadership in the unending fight for freedom, equality, and fraternity. Our task is endless. Now here's my question for you. If 7 college students with everything stacked against them could build a legacy that changed a nation, what's stopping you from building yours? Drop your thoughts below, share this with someone who needs to hear it, and make sure you follow Ikamafuna History TV, because we're uncovering the stories they don't teach in textbooks. Your move.